Broken Camp is a private picnic and camping pavilion in the hinterland of Byron Bay in a place called Broken Head. One of the things we really love about this site is that it is this intersection of different landscapes. It provides a sheltered environment from which to experience the landscape. As you approach the site and you see it in the landscape, there's then a moment when it's denied and then revealed to you at a different scale in a different context. It was identified as a special place on the property and had been used for informal gatherings and picnics. And so the idea was to reinforce those existing uses and provide some kind of opportunity to explore new ways of occupying that landscape. Part of the design was generated by observing patterns of use, specifically where people naturally gathered on the site given the existing terrain and a lot of the established trees. And the very first thought was literally just a line with 2 points at the end and a box in the middle. And that's what we've built, but it obviously takes a lot of effort to kind of get from that initial spark to a finished structure. The idea around the portal and the deck floating through was to almost maintain the legibility of those separate elements, and at each end are these two destinations, the fire pit at one end and the wood-fired oven at the other end. That elevated deck, which is at seating height, allowing you to find your own place. It's this kind of infinite, supersized bench that sits through the landscape. And there's a fixed table that allows dining space for about half a dozen people, and this then extends out, and that difference in height allows it to become a standing bar. Within the pavilion itself, we have these two bespoke furniture pieces, and they provide a sink and a little bit of storage. It's easy to look at architecture and sometimes think it's about the materials, and there is kind of a materiality to this project, but often it is actually more about the spaces. The idea of the portal frame and the thinness of the skin came about through trying to have the purity to those structural ideas. And then the materials came together, trying to balance that idea, and then obviously have something that was appropriate to the site. So we knew that we wanted to have materials that could just weather, didn't need to be maintained. Something quite thin and light that didn't need a whole lot of additional support structure. Using some kind of steel cladding was an obvious choice, but then it came down to weathering steel. It's quite deliberate that we've just let the thing go silver, and the weathering steel, it rusts and then it stabilises and then it never needs to be painted or cleaned. The more it ages, the more beautiful it becomes. The siting and the design of the structure have been quite deliberately and precisely created in order to frame views and to draw the eyes to them. These beautiful ridge lines, fences, obviously views to the cattle on the site. The dam itself in the paddock, which is this beautiful place where you see birds and ducks. And then off to some of the old rainforest coming through. We wanted that idea that you're in the Australian landscape and you've made a campfire literally just on the ground. It's quite a simple project really. It's just a place for people to gather and enjoy each other's company, enjoy the landscape, prepare food together, and enjoy an open fire.